Okay, so yesterday's we studied the trapezoid and the property of the isosceles trapezoid and the mid segment and the mid what segment. Today we'll study the last quadrilateral, which is what a kite, which is a kite. Um, in kite, we don't have a parallel line. There are no parallel what? No, parallel lines. But we have equals what? Equals sides. We'll have what? We'll have QP and QR are equals together. So the two long sides are equals. And the two short sides are what? Are equals. So this is what, guys? This is kite. And there are no parallel what? No parallel lines. Okay, so two consecutive what? Two consecutive sides are what, guys? Are equals. We have pairs of consecutive sides are what? Are equals. So if you join what? If we join, now we'll talk about the property of what? The properties of kite. If you join the diagonals AC and BD, the diagonals will be perpendicular and the long diagonal will be bisect the short diagonal. Okay, guys. So that means diagonal AC will intersect the diagonal what? The diagonal BD. That means we have this line and this line are what? Are equals in length. But this the long diagonals, no. You will notice that this line are not like the same of this line. One of them is short and the other is what? So the two diagonal intersect each other at a point and they are perpendicular. Perpendicular means the four angles are 90. These four angles are what? Are 90. And one of them is bisect the other. One of them bisect what? Bisect the other. Okay. Also, the two angles included between the two successive sides, and these two successive sides are not consecutive sides, and these two consecutive sides are not equals. So these two angles are what, guys? Are congruent. This angle and this angle are what? Congruent, have the same what? Have the same measure. So if a quadrilateral is a kite, then exactly one pair of opposite angles are congruent. So one pair are congruent and the other two pairs are not congruent. That means J equals angle L, but angle K and angle M are not what? Are not congruent. So which pairs are congruent, guys? The pairs included between the equal side are not equals, guys. So these two sides are equals. So this is the angle included between them, and this the angle included between them. So they are not, guys, they are not equals. But the angles included between the two different sides are what? Are equals. Okay, let's take example. And this shape, if measure of angle BAD equals 38, BAD. So this angle is what? 38 degree. And measure of angle BCD equals 50, BCD. This one equals what, guys? Equals 50. And he asked to find measure of angle ADC. ADC, this angle. We wanted to find what? This angle. Yeah, any idea?
حاليا ما جاتني أفكار لسه مصر، قاعد أفكر.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. What is the measure of the interior angle of a quadrilateral? What is the sum of the measure of the interior angle of a quadrilateral? Yes, guys, what is the measure of the interior angle of quadrilateral? I told you to memorize this. The sum of the interior angle of a quadrilateral equals 360 what? 60 degrees.
360.
We have the measure of two angles, angle A and angle C. This means if I subtract 38 and 50 from 360, so the remaining will be the measure for angle B and D together, angle B and angle what? And angle D. So measure of angle B plus measure of angle D equals 360 minus 38 plus 50. So anyone has a calculator, guys? Give me the answer. So it will be equals. Yes, guys, 360 minus bracket 38 plus 50. محدش عنده كالكوليتر ولا ايه يا شباب؟ So
1 second, mister.
So it will be 270 what? 72. So do you remember I told you that from the property of a kite that we have two pairs, two opposite angles are congruent. Two opposite angles are what? Congruent. Or and measure. So what these two angles, guys? So let me tell you, if A equals 38 and C are 50, so they are opposite and not equal. That means B and D are what? Are congruent. The opposite what? Angles, and they are what? Are congruent. So we have what? We have one pair of opposite angle are congruent. So if C and D are not congruent, that means V and D, they are what? They are congruent. That means angle D and angle B are what? Are congruent. So if you know the sum of both of them, that means you can find the measure of each one of them. Measure of angle B will be equal measure of angle D equals, we will divide 272 divided by what? Divided by 2. It will be 136 what degree. So measure of angle D, 136. Measure of angle B, 136. That's mean measure of angle ADC equals 130 what? 136 degree. Any question, guys?
No, mister.
الأستاذ مين اللي مشغل المايك بتاعه ده؟ طيب question number 4B. خلينا نمسح كده ده. let me erase. And start solve what's the next question. And the next question, we have what? PT equals 5, BT, so this one is 5, so 5. Okay, so this line B what? BT is 5. And we have TC equals 8, so this line is 8. And we wanted to find CD. Okay, we wanted to find what? We wanted to find CD, this line. So also like we deal with what? We deal with rhombus, we will use what, guys? We will use Pythagoras theorem. We'll use Pythagoras what? Pythagoras theorem to find what? To find lengths. So if you wanted to find length, so remember, guys, the diagonals are perpendicular. This means this angle is what? Is 90 degree. Okay, remember, this is 8 and this is 5. 8 and 5 in this triangle are what? Are legs. Okay, so he asked you to find what? DC. But if you could find the value of BC, and you know that BC and CD are the same. So if you could find the value of BC, the length of BC, so you can easily find what? The length of DC. Okay, guys. So it's better now to find the length of BC. BC in this triangle. So let me show the triangle like this. So this is what? T, 8, C, and B. And this is 5. So this side represent what? Represent the hypotenuse. Represent what? The hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse, BC, will be equal square root of the two legs, guys. The sum of the two legs. The sum of the squares of the two legs. So that means 8 squared plus 5 what? 5 squared. So it will be square root of 64 plus 25, which is root 989. So it's easy to use your calculator to find what? To find this value. So root 89, it's approximately equals 9.4. That means this line is 9.4 and BC equals DC. So both of them is 9.1, approximately equals 9.4. Understand this, guys? Got this point? Okay. So
I don't understand it.
You know that we use Pythagoras rule, Pythagoras theorem to find what? If you have 3 sides and a right angle triangle. So this side, its name is leg, and this is the hypotenuse. Okay. He gave you the length of 2 sides and ask you to find the third one. So if the missed is the hypotenuse, so if the hypotenuse is missed, so the hypotenuse will be equals square root of leg squared plus leg squared. The length of the sum of the two legs. If one of the two legs is missed and asked you to find it, so leg is missed, guys. So the leg will be equals square root of hypotenuse square minus the second leg squared like this. Okay. So for example, in this example, we wanted to find BC. So I wanted to decide BC is what? Is a hypotenuse or leg? BC is what? Is a hypotenuse. So that means BC equals square root of the squared of the two legs, the sum of the squared of two legs. So 5 squared plus what? Plus 8 squared. Okay. Then you will make your what? Your calculation. We'll solve a question like this, Sami, again. Okay. So in this guide, in this guide, we have measure of angle. We wanted to find measure of angle Z. So as I told you guys, like we did in the previous one. So these two angles. So in a kite, we have two angles, and two opposite angles are congruent. Which one? So if you look carefully, it is not W and Y, because W is 80 degree and Y is what? 60 degree. So this means angle Z and angle X are what? Are congruent. They have the same what? The same measure. So how to find the measure of each one of them? So measure of angle X equal measure of angle Z equals 360 degree minus plus 60.
80.
And this answer should divide by what, guys? Divided by 2, because if you subtract 360 So if you subtract these two angles from 360, so the remaining is what? The sum of x and z. And because x and z are the same, so I'll divide what the answer by 2. Both of them because they are
110.
what's the answer?
نقول 110
110.
110
Yeah, it's very easy. So it gives you the answer directly. So if one of the congruent angles in a kite are missed, so you can find them easily by what? Subtracting 360 minus the sum of the other two angles. Then divide the answer by 2 because we will divide the answer between 2 equals what? Equals angle. So this is 110. This is 110. Okay, guys. Sami, this is the equation, Sami. We will apply Pythagoras rule again here, guys. We wanted to find AB. AB in this triangle. And remember, the diagonals are what? Are congruent.
congruent
So AB in this case represent hypotenuse or leg?
hypotenuse
Yeah, so AB will be equals square root of the sum of the squared of the two legs. So 4 squared plus what? 3 squared. So I'll give you the answer
3
there.
squared.
So it will be what, guys? Will be 5. Okay, understand this? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, now we wanted to find what, guys? We wanted to find angle C, this angle. So do you remember that we have opposite side are congruent, guys? So what is the opposite angles here are congruent? What is the opposite, the congruent? A congruent C or B congruent D?
B congruent to D.
Yeah, because guys, the angles included between the non-equal side are congruent. So side AB and side BC are not equal. So the angle, this angle will be equals what? To this angle. That means this angle is also 85. Now we wanted to find angle C. So it's very easy. I know that the sum of the interior angle of any quadrilateral 360. If
360.
yeah, so it will be measure of angle C equals 360 degree minus the sum of the given angle 85 plus 85 plus 120 degree. So what is the answer, guys? If you have a calculator.
70.
So the answer will be what, guys? Will be 70 degree. Any question, guys?
70.
Any question؟
No.
No.
نسأل يا شباب لازم تعرف ازاي تطلع الكونجروانت انجل لوحدك ازاي وازاي. So all the question is about what, guys? Either Pythagoras or what? Applying Pythagoras rule or finding a missed angle. So because we have only this rule. So in this shape, it's also ABCD is a kite. Okay, so that means we have 4 right angles. This line is 4, 5, 5, 12. And we wanted to find what? BC. BC, this line. So we are in this triangle. We are in this what? Triangle. So this angle is 90 degree. So we will focus on what, guys? We'll focus on this triangle. The two legs are given. B, P, C, P are given. And this one in this case, guys, represent what? Leg or a hypotenuse? Yes, guys, BC in this triangle represent leg or hypotenuse?
Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse, BC, will be equal square root of
Square root of 5.
Square.
Yeah.
So
5 square
plus 12 square.
plus 12 square.
Okay. So the answer will be what, guys? Will be 30. You will use your calculator and find what? Find the answer.
13.
So the answer will be what, guys? 30.
30.
Okay. Also here, we wanted to apply. We wanted to find YZ. Where is YZ? This line.
YZ.
So, so YZ is the same like XY. So both of them are.
XY.
Okay, guys? Or you can say that, guys, we can say that X, this line,
Equal 5 and the other equal
line
5.
is what? This one is 8. And also this what is 5. So we can work directly in this what? In this triangle. So we can work like this. So you know that one of the diagonals bisect the other. Okay, so the long diagonal bisect the short diagonal. That means this side and this side are the same. So this is 5. So this line will be what? Will be 5. And this line will be 8. And we wanted to find this. And this is the right angle. Just decide. CY is a hypotenuse or leg? Yeah, ZY
Hypotenuse.
is hypotenuse. So it will be equal square root of the
Square
sum,
root of
the sum of 8 squared
8 squared
8
plus 5
square plus
squared
5
7
square.
squared. Okay, guys.
equal
So
9.4.
So 9.4, okay. So if the mist is a hypotenuse, so plus. If the mist is a leg, so minus. So remember this, guys. We will not use plus always. If the mist one is a hypotenuse, so use plus. If one of the two legs, like this one, let's solve this one. We wanted to find WB, this line. And this one is given is 4. This is the right angle. This is what? The right angle. The required one in this case is leg or hypotenuse?
Leg.
It is not hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is 6. It's opposite to what? It's opposite to 90. So in this case, if one of the two legs are required, so square root of, instead of using a plus, use minus.
Minus 6.
So 6
Minus 4.
squared.
Minus 4 squared.
Okay, guys, don't try start by the smaller. So don't try 4 squared minus 6 squared. No, with subtracting, you should start by what? The greater. So start by what? The greater. So 6 squared minus what? 4 squared. So what is the answer, guys?
4.4.
4.4. Bravo, Ali. So we will back again to what? We'll back again to the angles. So where is the opposite angles, guys? So we have two opposite angles and they are congruent. So these opposite angles are not congruent. That means X and Z are what?
X and Z are congruent.
Congruent. So if you want to find both of them, subtract this from 360 and divide by 2. Divide the answer by what? By 2. That's mean measure of angle Z. Measure of angle Z equal measure of angle X equals 360 degree minus the given angle 70 plus 56 all over 2. So what is the answer, guys?
Over 2.
117.
What?
117.
117.
117 degrees. That means this angle is 117 and this one is 117. Very good. So also the same, guys. So we wanted to find angle Z. So Y and W are not congruent. So Z and X are congruent. So like I did here. So measure of angle X
360 minus
equals measure of angle Z equals what, guys? 360 degree minus
60
minus what?
minus 120
Plus
plus 90
90
over 2
degree over what? Over 2. Remember, guys, this small box
equals 25.
20?
75.
70 what? 75 degree. So this is 75 and this one is 70 what? 75 degree. Any question, guys?
No.